These are the 5 most important lessons that every first-time entrepreneur just has to learn. Hey, welcome back to another vlog. I think we're number 33 or 4 now. I always lose track of my 100-day YouTube video challenge. Today, I wanted to talk about the lessons that every first-time entrepreneur really has to learn for themselves. The reason I want to talk about this is because I get asked these questions way too often, and I haven't really seen too many videos out there that address these 5 key points. So let's do it. Number 1, no one is going to steal your idea. I promise you. The bottom line is this, you only get credit for execution. The difference between an idealist and an entrepreneur is execution. So if you can execute on a good idea, then you can pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, well done, you're an entrepreneur now, right? And there's a difference between an entrepreneur and being a successful business owner, and that's building a business case and a business model. Anyone can go create something tomorrow and call themselves an entrepreneur, but is there a business model behind it and a business case? We get brainwashed by movies like The Social Network to think that everyone is out there to get your great business idea, right? And I get amazed by founders who ask me for help or mentorship or advice, but aren't even willing to tell me their idea. And I've had some give me an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, an agreement that I have to sign that's legally, contractually saying that if I do anything about this idea in the future, it's stealing from them, right? The reality is, of course, there are some small examples of this where this actually makes sense if you're dealing in special proprietary technology and data and things like that. But literally for 99% of all ideas and 99% of all entrepreneurs, your idea is not going to be stolen, specifically by your friends and family. So I would argue that you should tell as many people as possible because 1, you get a new chance to pitch it to a new audience every single time. You can work with how to deliver the pitch. You can work with people's responses and reactions because one thing you need to develop being an entrepreneur is having a thick skin. You're going to get a lot of negative feedback over the years. So if you get used to getting no's, you're going to get better at learning how to respond positively to that. It's only going to be benefiting you and your mental health in the long run. Number 2, we are brainwashed again by media and movies to think that it's a young man's game. Entrepreneurship is a young man's game. You need to become an entrepreneur by 25, right? There's this archetype or stereotype in the industry which depicts a 25-year-old white guy on an Apple Mac in a fancy coffee shop in Palo Alto, hacking away and thinking of all these great, brilliant ideas, right? And that is true in some part, but that's what the media portrays because it's sexy to see some young person against the odds who's brilliant and a genius, right? Of course, the media want to report on that person, whereas in reality, the average age globally of an entrepreneur is 42 years old. I'll link the report below. I think it was McKinsey who did this report. And they showed that basically the average age of an entrepreneur is 42 years old. The bottom line comes down to, don't feel like there's this pressure for you to create a company right now, today, straight out of university, before university. The longer you wait into your 30s, the more experience you gain, the more likelihood of your success increases, the more likelihood of your network, the more likelihood you're going to meet potential co-founders, the more likelihood you're going to be an industry expert. And investors like to look at people that they invest in as someone who's a domain expert. And there are not too many domain industry thought leader experts at 25 years old, right? Get some experience, get some exposure. The most valuable lessons you can learn is working with people who are in the entrepreneurial dogfight, right? So, maybe if you want to create a startup in technology, go and work for one. Do an internship that evolves into a job. Work there for a couple of years because one thing people forget is mentors are some of the most valuable resources you'll ever get from anyone. It's constant advice. It's someone who has a vested interest in your success. And I've seen cases, even including mine, where my network became my investors. My friendship group became my mentors and investors too, right? But I only got that by spending the time, not in a super frenzied rush just to be an entrepreneur because I want to be an entrepreneur because I have to be before I'm 30 and that's what everyone else does. That's not what everyone does, actually. The more time and experience you gain, the more exposure you get, the more chance and likelihood you are of succeeding. There's no need to rush. The third one is that entrepreneurs who find great ideas or think of great ideas, then they do the research, as you should do, to become informed, and then they discover that that idea is already done. Let me tell you this. Just because your idea has been done, it doesn't mean it's been done right. Also, it doesn't mean it's been done right for now in today's world. Like when Facebook was founded, Friendster, and there was another social media network, I think it was MySpace, had already existed for 2-3 years. They already had hundreds of millions of customers or users, but Facebook did it better for the time. So just never forget that just because your idea has been done, it doesn't mean it's been done right and right now for this time. Is there a new technology that exists today? Look at mobile. When mobile came out, that changed the game. What's next? So every time there's a massive technological consumer change from mobile to tablets, then there's a whole new economy of companies that emerge. The app-based economy came out of the iPhone, right? Tablets, there was all these movie streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, they all kind of came out because people can now consume things on their laptops and their tablets, right? So just bear that in mind. Just because it's been done right doesn't mean it's been done right for now, and you could also do it better. The fourth one is just remembering that this is a journey. If you want to make a real commitment to entrepreneurship, you need to understand that it requires a commitment from you. Just remember that you're venturing into entrepreneurship and trying to do your own thing is A, one, respected by a lot of people in the industry, and B, you're going to learn so much because you have to do so much by yourself, right? So, and thirdly, it makes you more attractive to employers. So even if you go and try and fail and you only have 6 months to try, you can definitely go back to another job. That's no shame in that, and come back to entrepreneurship. There are so many examples of entrepreneurs who try before they're 25, realize that they didn't have the experience or exposure or access to network and funding. They go and get a job for 10 years working in a high growth company. And then out of that, they go and raise some money and have a really successful entrepreneurial journey. So just remember that this is a journey that will last anything from 5 months to 50 years. And most entrepreneurs that actually really want to be entrepreneurs and succeed in committing to building businesses, building solutions to problems. So just bear that in mind. You're committing to a career in entrepreneurship. That's going to take so many different forms, so many different shapes, but just remember that it is a journey and you need to commit to that journey. And the last one, number 5, is learning how to ask for help. This is something that I personally really struggled with, understanding how to ask for help, because I felt that asking for help made me seem stupid, that people would not think I was capable. I had to overcome that. And I've realized that you're not asking for help because you're not saying, help. I think that's the wrong term to say, help. Help me. No, you're asking for advice. You're asking people. It's like the same metaphor for reading a book, right? They say reading a book is you're basically tapping into someone's life and experiences, right? Asking for some other entrepreneur's advice who's a few stages ahead of you or has done something that you admire is basically you tapping into all the mistakes they've made and those lessons they've captured from that. And they're going to share that with you, right? So ask for help, get mentors, get advisors, try to surround yourself with a group of people who have done this kind of thing, who are confident in your ability and are confident in helping you. So those are my 5 lessons that every single first-time entrepreneur really has to learn, to realize that no one's going to steal your idea. You don't have to rush to be an entrepreneur before the age of 30. If you commit to entrepreneurship, it's a lifetime journey. That's the third point. You're committing to a lifetime journey of entrepreneurship that can become in phases. You can do something exciting in your 20s and then pause for a bit and then go back into it in your 40s and your 50s. There's always the opportunity. We've seen today that there are a lot more entrepreneurs in retirement, people not retiring and mowing the lawn and making a garden, making small little businesses, doing that cafe they've always wanted to do, or creating online small businesses, right? So you can be an entrepreneur in any phase of your life. The longer you wait, yes, the opportunity cost gets higher, but the more likelihood you have of succeeding. And remember, just because the idea has been done does not mean it's been done right, and right for now, this time frame and the world of technology that we live in. And lastly, ask for help. Feel free to reach out to me, Matt C. Smith on Instagram, reach out LUNICORN on YouTube, whichever channel you prefer, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice weekend. Ciao.